Ow. Nice. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Munro and welcome to the first ever episode of What I Listened to This Month, November 2020 edition. Guys, we are almost through this godforsaken year and I'm so proud of us all. Well done. So as you may know, I write a blog called sourhousemusic.com. Link is up there, give it a check out if you fancy. And I wanted to sort of expand on what I do on the blog because I like talking about music more than I like breathing pretty much. And I figured that a YouTube series could be quite a cool way to do that. So I'm stealing this idea of like what I listened to or what I watched this month from loads of other YouTubers who do the same kind of thing. Thank you for the inspiration, I do appreciate it. And basically this is going to be a place to just sort of talk about all the stuff that I listen to in the month because I listen to so much music. Look at me go, I'm so good. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. So let's start with the album that I was obsessed with at the start of the month, which was Song Machine Season 1 by Gorillaz. Oh my lord, it has been so long since we had a Gorillaz album that was this good. I am such a huge Gorillaz fan. The first album I ever bought on iTunes was Demon Days back in 2005, so like that kind of proves how much of a fan I am. It's just been so long since we heard a project from them that has been like this cohesive and this well strung together. It feels a little bit like that they lost their mojo in the 2010s. They released an album called Plastic Beach in 2010. Go check it out if you haven't. It's astonishing, absolutely astonishing record. And I guess it kind of feels like that they were trying to live up to the hype of their earlier records because their earlier stuff is so sublime. And, you know, that kind of leaves a bit of pressure and a bit of like a need to create a legacy, I guess. You know, those kind of artistic pressures come in there, obviously. And it's just nice to hear them trying to move on from that and kind of say, well, we don't have to kind of live up to our own standards that people think we should be doing or that we think we should be doing, you know. Done a bit of soul searching clearly on this album to create it. Really interesting is they've dropped the kind of the narrative elements that made their early records quite famous because they had such strong themes and cohesive stories and whatnot. On here, you know, the music is a lot more free-flowing and it kind of feels like they just sort of brought in all these really cool artists to basically just get their feelings out in the studio. And oh my god, the features list is incredible. They managed to get Elton John on here, they get Kano doing this amazing verse. There's Peter Hook, who was the bassist from New Order, and he's fantastic. They got Georgia on this. Oh, Slow Tie and Slaves as well coming to close out the record. Like, what more could you ask for? The fact they're calling it Season 1, you know, it's sort of, I don't know, it kind of reinterprets what we kind of expect with an album, I guess, because you're not sort of listening to one defined product. This is going to be sort of part of a wider set of records. And that's really exciting to see where this goes. I did a review of this on my blog. Go check it out. I absolutely loved it. I'll put the link in the description so you can go and have a look at that. The other album that I was absolutely obsessed with at the start of November was Positions by Ariana Grande. So a new album from her, obviously. Great news for 2020. We need good news at the moment. It feels like she's taking a bit of time to contemplate and maybe step down a bit from making the big kind of chart-focused songs that she's more used to. Especially because on like Sweetener and Thank You Next, which are her past two releases, there were so many bangers and bops on there. This, on Positions, is a much more kind of, I want to say thoughtful kind of take. She's sort of looking into herself more, and you know the lyrics especially are really interesting because she really puts a lot more effort into writing more detail into those compared to how she's done before. So you kind of feel like you're getting a bit more of her, you know, her mind in there. Other thing as well is that it is a lot more explicit than other stuff that she's done before. You know, she's alluded to sex and whatnot in her previous songs because, you know, why wouldn't you? Like on Positions, it's like there were moments where I was just like, Ariana, darling, oh my god, it's quite rude, quite dirty. Once you listen to the album for the first time, once you sort of get into it, do you know what? It's really good fun, and that's the thing that really worked for me. Whenever she is talking about sex, it's so kind of playful and lighthearted, and that's just refreshing to hear, you know? Women talking about sex in music is really in the limelight, and there's a lot of kind of progress that has been made that is now being capitalized on. We love to see it. Thank God. We want this. This is a good thing. And it's great to see that she's kind of helping to contribute to that maybe and kind of adding on to that. Because you know what? Like, life is too short to have any shame about what turns you on and, you know, what makes you feel good, all right? So it's good to have artists who are, you know, in the limelight at the top of their game kind of shedding stuff on that basically, and bringing some positivity to it. I mean, I wouldn't let my kids listen to this because obviously, you know, there's a certain limit there with the kind of lyrics, but you know what, if someone's inspired to feel good about themselves because they've listened to her talking about how much she wants to do a 34 plus 35, that's a win in my books. I reviewed this album as well, so you can go and check out my review of Positions on my blog. Once again, lyrics. The lyrics are in the description. This is not one of those bloody lyric videos. Oh my god. Do you remember, like, back at the start of the 2010s when, like, every single major pop song someone would make a lyric video for, and they do it in like sort of like bubbly text or something, but like that was the way to listen to music back then. It's like, oh my god, let's put the lyrics up, we'll go and watch it on YouTube, you know, all my mates around, like after school or whatever. All right, quick break, guys. It's time to do an outfit check. Today's outfit is kind of Midwestern suburban mum from the 1980s. You know, we've got the high-waisted jeans, we've got the flannel shirt that's kind of done all the way up. I was thinking of having these down here, put the sleeves all the way down, but it kind of made me look like I was wearing a straight jacket, and I don't want to do that, you know. Let's continue, guys. Songs-wise, I always get songs and whatnot stuck in my head that I just have to keep going back to and repeating. One of those has been Chun Li by Nicki Minaj. I don't know how I slept on this back in 2018 when it came out, because I remember listening to her album, Queen, at the time. I've been in a bit of like a revelatory mood with Nicki Minaj over the last few years because I used to really hate her stuff at the start of the 2010s, and I'm looking back now, and like, I don't know why I did. I was just, you know, snide little bastard teenage boy basically. Oh, I don't like rap music. Oh, it's all so stupid. Oh, she's being too sexual and explicit. And now I'm just like, serve it. This song slaps. Oh my lord, it's got this classic kind of 90s hip-hop dance beat, you know, really grooves around, and the chorus, oh my god, it's so good. It makes reference to a Prince song as well, He Keeps On Dying Nicki, which is a reference to Darling Nikki, a song from Purple Rain. Well, that's an equally brilliant song, so I just thought that was really cool to mention. I've also been rediscovering my love for Wanna Be Startin Something by Michael Jackson. Wanna Be Startin Something is a track that means a lot to me. I was in a massive Michael Jackson phase when he passed away in 2009, and I remember waking up on the day that he died. I woke up early for some reason. It was a school day, and I had a radio in my room at the time. I always put the radio on in the morning because I was cool like that, you know. Put it on, and the radio station is playing Wanna Be Startin Something by Michael Jackson. I loved that song at the time, and then of course the next link they did on the radio straight after was saying that we're playing this in honor of Michael Jackson who's passed away. That was a tough day, you know. So this song's always been like very important to me for that reason. But like, oh, it is just such like a rhythmic and all-encompassing, all-embracing tune. And it's got the choirs, it's got the punchy beats and so on, and that like bass line goes do do boo do boom dim like it's so lively. The whole song is so alive, and when it comes at the end and it's got the choirs going mama say mama sa mama kusa, and he's kind of ad-libbing over the top going woohoo. Clearly I was not born to be a singer. When you put it on, you want to fucking throw your hands in the air and just, you know, embrace it. I'm really loving getting back into that again, basically. I've also been getting into the work of Giuseppe Verdi. I think I'm getting the pronunciation correct. An Italian composer from the 1800s. I have a little penchant for classical music. I don't know anything about it. Like, honestly, I couldn't tell you enough to, you know, sort of have a proper conversation about it. But I like my Mozart, I like a bit of Beethoven. But Verdi is not someone I really sort of dipped my toes in really so far with. He's so like romantic and expressive, and he has all these I love these pieces where he has a male and a female singer, and they're kind of flirting with the words, and he has the orchestra throw in some, you know, inferences as well there, and his range is fantastic. It goes all the way from things like his Requiem, where he is just punching every single thing out, and it's so dramatic, all the way down to things like, I think it's called Ida. I'm gonna write it on the screen, then you can, you know, work out how that's pronounced. Which is a much more gentle and bucolic kind of sound, and like that is a really, you know, that's a very distinct range to have. So I've been putting the Spotify playlist of his pieces on shuffle. If you are someone who hasn't listened to classical music before and is kind of wanting to get into it, the stuff that Spotify do to collate a lot of these classical composers' work is actually really good, and you can just whack it on shuffle. You'll know some of the pieces, I'm sure. And the great thing is with Verdi is that he's so engaging. All this stuff, you just get it straight away, basically. You know, it's just a very rewarding thing to listen to, classical music. It's so like heartful and nice. And the last thing I want to talk about is everything that I've listened to in this last week, because I've been going through a lot, a lot of music. I'm going to be writing my albums of the year list and my songs of the year list for 2020 in the coming weeks. So I'm trying to get any records that I haven't picked up on yet, you know, sort of covered basically before we go and start writing that, so I can come to an informed decision, obviously. That will be released on my blog in December. Keep an eye out on that. You can check out my social media posts to keep up with that. So I've been listening to Collier new record called Sin Miedo. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't do amazingly well with Spanish all the time. This is her first ever Spanish release LP. It's her second album. It's her first album that's been written almost entirely in Spanish, and it's just so flamboyant and juicy, and you know, it glistens with all the class that she brings to every single thing that she does. DJESSE Volume 3 by Jacob Collier as well. I'm not really listening to Jacob Collier at all up until this point. But I had a recommendation to listen to this. You know who you are. I can't really describe it. You have to just listen to it, and trust me. I think some people will be put off because it is such a it's such a mess of a record, but it also is so direct as well. And even if every single second of it just goes all over the place, it's all heading in one direction at the same time. So you kind of feel like, well, I just have to stay on for this, you know, and see where it ends up. Past Celiu's new record, which is called Them To Coventry, it's like a sort of, it's drill, but it's more laid back, and he has got so much talent for hooks and these really nice subtle beats, basically. That came out a few weeks ago. I know Radio 1 Extra played one of the songs from it, it was the most played song of the year so far, basically. That's reason enough to go and give it a check out. And then the new Megan Thee Stallion album as well, which I've waited so long. I say so long, it's been basically this whole year. 2020. If we're gonna remember it for anything positive, it is gonna be Megan Thee Stallion, the Megan Thee Stallion. It has all of the singles that she's released this year on one album, and she has released so much good material this year. And when she's just being, you know, kind of hot girl Meg and just delivering what she delivers, it's such an amazing thing to listen to. Oh, the energy is so strong. She's such a force of nature. I love her to pieces. I'm so glad she's managed to put all the songs that have made this year so good for her on one record. Even if it was an album, it just doesn't flow in the way that it should. It's great. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you making it this far in and listening to all the stuff I have to say. That's really, really nice of you. Go check out my blog at sourhousemusic.com. Sorry, www.sourhousemusic.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Munro Page. You can find me on Instagram at Munnersmun. I'm also on Letterboxd at Munnersmun. You can go and check out the kind of films that I'm watching at the moment on there as well. And if you've got any comments about the stuff that I've listened to, or you want to have a chat about it or anything, hit me up on one of those social medias, drop a comment down below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.